All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD are taking their last break of the season this week, as the three get ready for the final stretch of the season. Last time the shows were on, Chicago Med saw Dr. Hannah Asher, Jessie Schramm, offer to be her sister Lizzie's surrogate so she could fulfill her dream of being a mother. Meanwhile, on Chicago Fire, Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, investigated an old fire his wife Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, was involved in years ago, and on Chicago PD, Kiana Cook handled her first CI as she and Torres got even closer. So when are Chicago Fire, PD, and Med coming back, and why haven't they been renewed? Why are Chicago Fire, PD, Med not on tonight? The shows are just taking their last regular one-week break of the season, likely to set up the finale in the week NBC would prefer for the finale to air, which is the week of May 21st. The shows will return with new episodes next week, on May 7th, and will also air a new episode on May 14th. Those, alongside the May 21st finale, are the last 3 episodes remaining this season. We still don't know if One Chicago will return for another season. Everything is pointing towards a renewal, but the shows have yet to get an official Season 14 order for Chicago Fire, Season 13 for Chicago PD, and Season 11 for Chicago Med. And yet, the budget cuts in preparation have already started, with Chicago Fire announcing 2 series regulars would be departing at the end of the season and would not return for a possible Season 14. Jake Lockett, who plays Sam Carver, and Daniel Keary, who plays Darren Ritter, are departing the show at the end of Season 13 of the show. Neither of the actors wanted to leave, and the decision is not believed to be creative but budgetary. It's a real tough break, particularly as the show just had Lizzie Novak move in with Ritter and was just starting to repair Carver and Violet's relationship. This seems to be setting up at least one of them, if not both, to die in the final. What other way could Chicago Fire justify their exits? They've done absolutely no setup for their departures whatsoever. The other One Chicago shows have not announced any exits, though Chicago Fire is the show with the largest cast. Chicago PD has a smaller cast of regulars and tends to have an officer or 2 disappear every once in a while. We've had Dan Torres missing weeks on end this season, for example. Over on Chicago Med, there are doctors who come and go on the background, but every year it feels like the main cast gets smaller and smaller. And perhaps that's the price to pay for a renewal at this point. But we have yet to get that renewal, and it's getting pretty late. Usually by this time of the year, we would already have confirmation of another season. Then again, it's not like NBC has renewed everything but One Chicago. In fact, NBC has held off on all of its renewals, so it's probably too early to worry just yet. Wolf Entertainment has already lost 2 shows this year in FBI International and FBI Most Wanted, but it's unlikely One Chicago or any of the shows in the Law and Order franchise will join them in being canceled. That, however, doesn't mean fans are going to be happy with what the shows have in store for the final. The franchise always likes to end on big cliffhangers, and Chicago Med has promised the return of some familiar faces, while Chicago Fire still has to find a way to say goodbye to Carver and Ritter. And oh yes, over on Chicago PD, Burgess and Ruzek are finally getting married. So that's a lot to look forward to, either way.